We're working on the list accumulators lesson. We're working on the second challenge. It says for this challenge, we want to collect the numbers from numList that are divisible by 3 in a collector called div by 3. The same for 7 in a collector called div by 7. And finally, we want to collect the numbers from div by 3 and div by 7 that are equal to each other in a collector called div by both. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to iterate. Actually, let's go ahead and not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just go ahead and declare all of the collectors or accumulators that we're going to need. Here. And let's say for num in numList, if num modulo 3 is equal to 0, that's saying if this is evenly divisible by 0, then we want to div by 3 dot append that number. Now, here we want to go with an if statement again. Some people might think that we want to go with some people might want to go with an elif here. We have to remember the elif in the else statement only happens if the previous conditions have not been met, right? And there are some chance that a number like 21, for example, is going to be divisible both by 3 and by 7. So if I had an elif, it wouldn't check if it was also divisible by 7. So that's not going to help me out. I want to go ahead and just stick with an if statement here. So we'll say this is going to look the exact same just by replacing the 3 with 7, div by 7 dot append my number. Now, the last thing it asked me to do, and it says after collecting the values in two separate lists, collect the numbers from div 3 and div 7 that are equal to each other in a collector called div by both. I'm actually not going to wait until afterwards. I've got this single for loop. I know that I can get everything done in one single for loop, so I'm going to take advantage of the ability to do that. And I'm going to say if num is in div by 3 and num is also in div by 7, then let's div by both dot append my number. So this does not have a function. It does not ask me. I don't need a return value or anything. Let's go ahead and give this a test and see if we pass. We can see that does give us the pass, right? Certainly you could do a second for loop the way it says after collecting the values in two separate lists. We can check it together. I chose to do it in a single for loop. Hopefully that makes this solution clear, and we'll see you in the next video.